Taguchi is obsolete. How can I make such a bold statement like that? I think there's three main weaknesses in that approach that just don't have to be accepted anymore. One of the first one is just the tools available. Taguchi himself will talk about that his tools are actually a subset of what they consider the Western method or George Box approach to DOE. They tend to be, not all, but tend to be the fully fractionated designs, the resolution 3 designs. And certainly there's limits in the Taguchi approach for the advanced tools. The advanced tools of the Western method, such as central composite designs, box banking designs, or optimal designs, just don't even exist in that approach. And so it's very limiting on, again, on the advanced tools, but also in the, I call core tools of problem solving or learning. A second one is the typical lack of diagnostics when people use the Taguchi approach. With today's computers, there's no reason not to be able to buy some specialized software that very easily and very simply can put that diagnostic power right at your fingertips in moments, very inexpensively. And there's additional learning that goes on here. It's not just to pick the winner approach of picking the best corner that tends to happen in Taguchi. We can go in more depth with our learning and understanding of our system. So we can go a lot further with our tools, go a lot farther with the diagnostics. And the last thing is just the understanding about aliasing. It's something that most Taguchi practitioners don't understand. And when you do any kind of fractional factorial, particularly the highly fractionated ones, the aliasing just describes the assumptions that are being made for that so-called efficiency of the design. You're always giving up something. There's always a trade-off. But if you use a certain subset of tools with heavy aliasing or heavy assumptions, you don't understand those, it's really risky as far as the conclusions you can make and the learning you can make. Again, with today's software, using the more advanced tools or more, maybe not complicated, but more in-depth tools, certainly the more in-depth diagnostics, and understanding the potentially complex aliasing pattern that may exist. With today's software tools, there's no reason not to do any of these things. They're not complex, they're easy to teach, and frankly, it gives you more understanding of what the tool is doing versus the so-called cookbook approach that tends to be used with the Taguchi approach, which is actually very frustrating to any people trying to apply it. So again, I think the Western method, the George Box method, is a much stronger approach, doesn't have these types of weaknesses. The so-called complexity involved with doing this is very incremental, and the software makes it easy to execute. The understanding and learning that takes place is to understand what these things are so you apply them appropriately. Ignorance of these topics, I think, is very dangerous, particularly in an R&D environment and a learning environment, to really create your own competitive edge in your R&D world. If you'd like help in solving a problem, in developing a new product, in developing a new process, give us a call at Perry Solutions. We'd like to help you use the right tools, learn as much as you can, understand your assumptions so that you can get the competitive edge you want out of your product.